Hello Lima, brought to you by Good Food Restaurant, home of Happy Days, Beer Barrel, and Old City Prime. Also by Mercy Health Partners, the Tomall family of dealerships, 318 Restaurant and Bar, Lima Pallet Company, and M&W Construction.
Hello, welcome to Community Perspective. My name is Jerome O'Neill, and it is just fabulous to be able to bring you today's show. Sometimes we get caught up in that hustle and bustle of the holidays. We kind of forget what the season's about, both in terms of being thankful for what we have and being blessed about the holiday coming up, Christmas. One of the things I want to do today, and remember, this is called a community perspective, so the idea is to bring talent to people's attention that sometimes in Lima you don't even know it exists. We're hearing a lot about the young people today, a lot about what we're going to do to keep them out of crime and what we're going to do to keep them out of the penal institutions and out of drugs, and I think it's important. But you know something, Lima? There's a lot of good going on today. A lot of good people doing a lot of good things to today's youth. And we're going to be able to meet some of those in today's segment. Not only the young people that are sort of bringing this to our attention about what they're doing, but some of the older talent that's making sure that the young people get spotlighted. So, without further ado, I'd like to join today's guest. I'd like to be able to say hello, Dr. Vicki Sherrills. Many of you know her. She's been on the show a couple of times before, maybe once before. We're glad to have you back, Dr. Sherrills.
Thank you for inviting me.
We have Mr. Matthew Sanders, who's been on the show a brief time before, and we certainly appreciate the fact that he's been instrumental in sort of bringing some young people to Lima. And we're going to talk about some of the things that Mr. Sanders has going on in the Lima community also. Vicki, let me start with you. You have, and some of the things that you're doing is being shown on the screen. Some of the Grand Lake theatrical production that you're doing has been really instrumental, not only in spotlighting today's youth, but the things that you're bringing forth as a teacher over at Air Force, talking about the STEM process. Give us a little idea about why it's so passionate for you to to be able to talk about the young people and what they do. You've been doing it for years, Vicki, for years.
Yes, for years, and I don't think it's necessary to emphasize how many years, but yes, yes, it has been years. I think really, and one of the things that you said earlier, Jerome, I think speaks to that, is that a lot of times people feel like we're saving the youth, keeping them away from drugs, keeping them, but I don't think it's really a matter of that. I think more it's about allowing the youth to explore what it is that drives them. And then those of us who work with them, we just try to point them in the right direction or put the things in their pathway that they can experience. Because I think that, and certainly I see this in my classroom, I look at as an educator, I feel like my job is to open doors, open windows, open mirrors, so that they can see. Right. And I just keep saying, look in here, what about this, what about that? Until you find that little spark in every child.
But let me stop you there, Dr. Sherrills. A lot of people talk about it, but you're actually implementing programs throughout Lima and St. Mary's that people can visually see. If we look at on the screen and we see the costumes that those kids are wearing, and we see some of the programs that you're doing, it's one thing to be, and I think it's important. We're going to jump to you in a little while, Matthew. It's important to be eloquent about how we are doing what we're doing with kids. But you're actually doing it. Look at that. Look at those costumes. Look at those programs that you're putting on. And you have Shrek coming up.
Right. And we're doing that with our school. But the thing is, I think even when I said to people a couple of years ago, I want to do a Shakespeare play with all students, and everybody just looked at me like, they're not interested in that. Nobody wants to hear about Shakespeare, but they were wrong, per usual. That not only were the students interested in doing, they were magnificent at it. And once they got into the language of Shakespeare and kind of putting their own flavor to it, it was a wonderful experience to them. And so now, our students, because of that, have an experience that many other students don't. They don't get it. Right.
And your pockets are none the deeper for that, are they?
As
I say, you're volunteering a lot of this time, and I appreciate that, Dr. Sherrills. When you look at those kids, and I've seen the spotlight, I've seen the vision in their eyes when they do their STEMs. I'm going to jump to you, Matthew, real quick about some of the things that you're doing, Mr. Sanders. Some of the things that you're sort of. We're going to get to the book that you produced with your daughter, you illustrated, and you wrote with your daughter. But talk about some of the things that you've got going on in the community, both with your production coming up called Up the Score.
Yeah, so I was inspired to create a film and a lot of these Detroit gentlemen and
Right.
women have been putting a lot of film out, and I was like, you know what, we can do this here in Lima as well. It's a secret passion of mine, and Up to Score is going to be an amazing featured film, and I can't wait to dig into it and bring talent from Lima.
And I know we've seen some of the media cover this audition that's coming up and cover what you're trying to do, but you're also a publisher or an author yourself. We've talked about some of that in the past, both you and Dr. Sherrills, in terms of your involvement in the community. You've produced games, you produced, you're just a man of vision like Dr. Sherrills. Are those things that you do important for you, or are they important for what you're trying to convince the Lima community of seeing people different, particularly in the Black community?
It's important for me, but it's also, I have to concur with Dr. Sherrills on. We have to show different opportunities of things, of creativity to the children. Like we say, it can't be more or less of saving people, but if you don't know about certain things, how do you know if you don't like it? You know, it's not just sports, it's not just music.
Right, that's it.
There's other alternatives.
I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah, you know, so we just trying to shed the light and, you know, put food on the table and let them eat what they want.
And you find that's sort of the way that you kind of been able to pick. So if you talk about, and I don't want to jump around here because I'm so excited about having both of you guys here, because I think it's important to actually be hands-on with what you do. When you did the Who's Keeping It Real,
Yes.
and then as we try to do this commercial, you can get this on Amazon.
Who's Keeping It Real on Amazon, right?
Talk about this.
So, Who's Keeping It Real is a urban cultured card game.
It is so cool.
It's amazing. I just got tired of playing Monopoly and Uno, and we didn't have nothing that reflected our culture. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's bring something new to the table and explore. And it's doing very well. And I encourage everybody for the holiday season to sit around with your family and play Who's Keeping It Real.
And I think part of that is showing people, both your entrepreneur and both of your vision about creating products, and it's something that you can do. And you and Dr. Sherrills, one of the things that, and I think you touched on it, and I know we're coming up on a break, you touched on this, both of you guys touched on something that I don't want it to get lost in my yakking, which is exposing kids, exposing today's youth to things beyond sports. That's important for both of you guys.
Oh, absolutely. I think that, you know, and I don't take anything away from sports because it has helped so many people. But we have kids with talent that just will blow your mind.
And
the things that they are willing to do and the things that they are capable of that they don't even know because they don't know those things exist. So
and I don't interrupt you, Dr. Sherrills. I think it's important because we can talk about, and I see people on the you've seen it too, talk about let's keep kids off drugs, but if you don't expose them to other options, other alternatives, right, Matthew?
Yeah, it's just a repeated cycle. So we have to let them get their horizons and expand. You know, show them some different things because you never know what you might be into. And she spoke about the Shakespeare. They were wrong. You know, they didn't know about it, but it was put in their face, and then it was something that they actually found intriguing.
That's interesting when you talk about it. And I'm going to go back to what Matthew said: putting the food on the table and let them dibble and dabble in different things. It's the same. So is that STEM? And I know you're doing a lot of things as an educator, from an educator family. I know that for a fact. You're exposing them to STEM, robotics, and a lot of things that you normally don't see in the community, particularly in the minority community, but in the community in general for young people.
That's right, and it all ties in together. You know, those aren't separate things because all of the things that they're learning in STEM can also roll into theater because you've got to create sets, you've got to create, you know, so all of those things all work together, and so keeping the child well-rounded and letting them know that there is no, you know, I know this is an old Native American thing, but everything is a circle, everything is a sphere. There's no, you know, go this way, go that way. Everything works together. Yes.
Well, we're going to meet some of these young kids that they're talking about. We're going to take a break here, pay a couple of bills, get to know a little bit more about the students that they're talking about when we come back. Don't go away.
Early in the morning when the Happy Days stores open, turn the grills on, get the coffee turned on. Across town, the beer barrels, there's a lot of prep work that has to be done. Sauces being prepped on the stove. At Old City Prime, everything's from scratch. I think the culture in our company is is that we care about our people. And in return, our people care about our customers. Thank you so much to all of our team that's worked for us, and thank you so much to all the communities that we're in for being such great customers.
We at Lima Pallet Company thank you, Lima. In 1977, we started a small family business, and today we continue to grow. Lima Pallet is a full-service pallet and crate provider. Every customer is unique, which is why we build pallets and crates to our customers' specific requirements. Because we have our own fleet of trucks, we're able to provide customers with on-time, same-day, and 24-hour emergency deliveries. Coming together is the beginning, keeping it together is progress, and working together is success. Let's continue to succeed.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
If you're looking for an honest, dependable, trustworthy auto repair facility, consider Tom All for all your foreign and domestic vehicles.
Our goal is to give you such good service at such a low price that it'll knock your socks off. Our technicians have years of experience working on all types of vehicles.
Whether your car needs brakes, transmission, or engine work, diagnostic report, body work, paint repair, just routine maintenance, we can do it all.
We were a local family-owned business located on Downtown Road in Lima.
For quality work on your vehicle, take it to Tom.
Here's a look at some upcoming events of community interest. The Lima VFW Post 1275 will host a barbecue rib dinner December 2nd starting at 5. Meals are $12 per person. Downtown Lima will be the scene of a holiday festival December 3rd. You can dine, be merry, and shop from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Santa will be at the meeting place. Camp Barry and Findlay will host Breakfast with Santa December 3rd and 4th. Hours are 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tickets available online. The Pandora Methodist Church will have its Christmas cantata December 4th during the 9:30 a.m. worship service. Refreshments will be available afterward in the fellowship hall. A free community lunch will be offered at New Life Christian Ministries in Lima December 5th. Hours are 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And it will be Veterans Appreciation Day December 7th at Senior Citizen Services in Lima. Breakfast will be served from 8 to 10:30 a.m.
This message brought to you by Synovus Lima Refinery.
Welcome back to Hello Lima. We've had a great topic. We've been meeting some of what I call the older population who has been helping integrate today's youth in a culture that has so many different ways of leading them astray. We're being blessed today to be able to talk to a young author. Sanai, how are you doing?
Good.
We're going to talk about your book. Your dad helped you write it. I was able to read it, and it is such an enjoyable book. I know you've been in the paper, you've been on the news, you've been talking about this book for a long time, haven't you?
Yes.
Was it exciting to put together, Sanai? Tell me what made you think about this book when you and your dad got together. Did you find it interesting?
Yeah.
What made you? What part of it was sort of the fun part of writing this book?
Writing the title.
Okay, I like that.
What's it called?
Just Like Daddy.
Can you hold it up so the people can see it at home? And you have a Just Like Daddy shirt on. So what grade are you? What grade are you in?
3rd.
And this is something that you have a passion for, Sanai? Writing and being an author?
Yes.
How much did you get into this book? How much was it like, when you talk about being just like Daddy, did it come to life for you, the book itself, in terms of being able to talk about the good things that your dad does and the things that you guys share together when I read the book?
Yes.
Yeah, you like the things of maybe wearing a blue hat, girls can wear hats too, and
Was she and I've seen her in a number of different pieces, both reading in the library, reading to other kids. Matthew, as her dad, what spurred this type of involvement on? I think it's a great way to get kids involved in publishing and reading.
I think the love that we have for each other, we wanted to highlight that father-daughter relationships matter, and we wanted to encourage people to spend more time with their daughters. You know, we speak about our sons a lot. Let's not forget our daughters.
So is this a part of it? And I don't mean to be so flippant because when you talk about, I think that's important. There is a lot of discussion about spending time with your sons, particularly for male parents.
Right.
Yours was a little bit the opposite.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we love all our children equally, but sometimes they might highlight the son. I'm going to my son's football game or basketball game. What about your daughter? You know, spend a little more time with her, or speak on how important that bond is.
Sinai, can you read that part of the book for us? Let's hear some of the things that you wrote. And if the audience hasn't had a chance to get the book, I would say it's available on Amazon, isn't it, Sinai? You can go to Amazon and pick up this book, and it's being published, and it's available. Sinai, tell us a little bit about that part of the book.
One day I will be the boss of cleaning, just like Daddy.
Was that something that inspired you when you wrote that part of the book? Were you happy about that part of the book, Sinai?
Yes.
What made you feel that you could be something like your dad, an entrepreneur?
Goodish, saddish.
Satisfied about it, being satisfied. Is she been that way all of her life though?
She goes with me everywhere I'm at. You know, it's my road dog.
Is that what it is?
She's been able to see some of the entrepreneurial journey and exploration. She's learning the ins and outs, and you know, we're trying to give her all the food on the table and let her pick what she likes.
But she has been in settings where she has read.
Oh yes, she's read in front of the, what do we have, the Lima Black History Month event that was downtown. Yes. She's read at her school. She's read in a couple places, book signings. So,
Sinai, do you think you inspire other kids to be publishers, to be authors of books?
Yes.
Do you think it's something that they'll follow in your footsteps? Are you going to be an author when you get a little older? You think you'll continue to write books?
Yes.
I think it's important, though, and Mr. Sanders, I think I applaud you, because one of the things we're doing as we go to a commercial is making sure the Lima community, a community perspective, gets a chance to meet young people like Sinai and being able to see the things that they're doing in the community. And I want to thank you for being here today and being able to share your experience with today's audience. All right, Sinai? Yep. And we'll come back, we'll talk to another young man who's doing fabulous things in the community, particularly in the area of STEM, robotics. And you're going to see a young kid that is going places. Don't go away.
If you're looking for an honest, dependable, trustworthy auto repair facility, consider Tom All for all your foreign and domestic vehicles.
Our goal is to give you such good service at such a low price that it'll knock your socks off. Our technicians have years of experience working on all types of vehicles.
Whether your car needs brakes, transmission, or engine work, diagnostic report, body work, paint repair, just routine maintenance, we can do it all.
We were a local family-owned business located on Downtown Road in Lima.
For quality work on your vehicle, take it to Tom.
You are the center of a universe. That's what we've learned in 160 years serving our community. Everybody means the world to someone. So when you're in here, or if someday you find yourself in here, and when all you can think about is the world that revolves around you, we'll be a world that revolves around you too. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
From early in the morning when the Happy Days stores open, turn the grills on, get the coffee turned on. Across town, the beer barrels, there's a lot of prep work that has to be done. Sauces being prepped on the stove. At Old City Prime, everything's from scratch. I think the culture in our company is that we care about our people. And in return, our people care about our customers. Thank you so much to all of our team that's worked for us, and thank you so much to all the communities that we're in for being such great customers.
We at Lima Pallet Company thank you, Lima. In 1977, we started a small family business, and today we continue to grow. Lima Pallet is a full-service pallet and crate provider. Every customer is unique, which is why we build pallets and crates to our customers' specific requirements. Because we have our own fleet of trucks, we're able to provide customers with on-time, same-day, and 24-hour emergency deliveries. Coming together is the beginning, keeping it together is progress, and working together is success. Let's continue to succeed.
Here's a look at some upcoming events of community interest. The Lima VFW Post 1275 will host a barbecue rib dinner December 2nd starting at 5. Meals are $12 per person. Downtown Lima will be the scene of a holiday festival December 3rd. You can dine, be merry, and shop from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Santa will be at the meeting place. Camp Barry and Findlay will host Breakfast with Santa December 3rd and 4th. Hours are 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tickets available online. The Pandora Methodist Church will have its Christmas cantata December 4th during the 9:30 a.m. worship service. Refreshments will be available afterward in the fellowship hall. A free community lunch will be offered at New Life Christian Ministries in Lima December 5th. Hours are 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And it will be Veterans Appreciation Day December 7th at Senior Citizen Services in Lima. Breakfast will be served from 8 to 10:30 a.m.
This message brought to you by Synovus Lima Refinery.
From all of us at Tom Alls, we'd like to thank you for making our 60th year so special. Wow, we sure have so much to be thankful for living here in the USA, don't we? We have more freedoms than in any other country. We have a God and a Savior that will never leave us or forsake us. Gives us life more abundantly. From all of us at Tom Alls, enjoy your family and have a very blessed Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to Hello Lima Community Perspective. We've had a great time talking about today's youth, talking about some of the adults who've been instrumental in today's youth, being a little bit what you'd call interactive in Lima's community. We're going to meet one of those youth who, when you get to know him, you're going to be fascinated by his story, fascinated by the things he does. And Castile Johnson, welcome.
How are we doing today?
He's been a lighthouse to a lot of other youth in terms of what he's bringing to the table. Castile, tell us a little bit about. First of all, let's jump right into your last time I saw you. You were speaking in front of Lima City Council.
That was nerve-wracking. I'll tell you that.
And Castile, you're young. You're just going into a freshman, right?
Yeah. I should be a sophomore,
but you have been able to speak in front of Lima City Council. You did a great job presenting that day about STEM and your interaction with that STEM.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a huge thing to like you guys were talking about, to really get people involved in these things, because you can do as much prevention as you want, but when you take away everything and now you don't present something for them to grow upon, now
you're talking about today's young people.
Yeah, you're taking away a foundation, and then you're not giving them anything else to build off of. So in a sense, it's a double-edged sword, because you're preventing the bad things, but in a sense, you're not giving them any path to walk after that. So now they don't know what to do, really. And that's why I feel like the whole STEM thing is a really big part, because no matter what you want to look into, there's always something for somebody in it. And it's a beautiful thing, really, because it's allowing kids and, people my age to really experience what they love and pursue it, because it's, something they're going to enjoy, and they know that it's going to keep them stable for the rest of their lives.
And Castile, you could say that at the beginning of your grade, academic, it was rough, right?
It was very rough. I was a very, very stubborn child, Mr. Rose will tell you. I failed my first year of 6th grade because I just didn't want to do anything. But after a while, I started, looking more into. I've always been into it, chemistry, robotics, all that stuff. It was just I never had the proper foundation to build onto it. So when I was, being introduced to these things, and Mr. Rose class really helped me a lot in, 2nd year, 6th grade, 7th and 8th, because she took what we were learning about and she made it a thing that we could be part of. We did a World War II study. I mean, prior to that, I already loved World War II. I could tell you anything about it. but it was World War II with the Navajos and stuff like that. It was really interesting learning about that because that was something I didn't even know, and I practically knew everything, or at least thought I did. And then World War I was even more interesting. We read All Quiet on the Western Front. I loved the book. I loved it. It was great to read. It was everything about it was amazing, and just the camaraderie between the soldiers and things like that, and really experiencing it that everyone around you is human.
And one of the things I want to do here real quick, Dr. Schroes, people realize, and I have to be quick in there, when he was doing poor academic, he was testing off the charts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could look at him, and all of the things he was doing, he was brilliant, and he was failing. I'm like, how are you failing my class?
Because he was testing different than what he was, which means
it wasn't a lack of the ability. It was like I just didn't want to do it.
Right.
So I kind of just tossed it to the side. But when it came to something big, I'm like, yeah, okay, well, you can't just toss this to the side because it's something that's actually going to genuinely affect you. But every little thing does affect you.
Because still, you were in the STEM camps over the summer, and you became a student. In the next camp, you were an instructor.
Yeah, that was a huge jump. When Alex, when I got the call from Doc and he was talking about, he's like, yeah, Dr. Alex, he wants you to, he wants you to be part of this. I was real big on it. Like, I would have done it. Like, where I did do it, but like I would have done it, no questions asked. Like nothing at all. I would have showed up that day, regardless.
And that's what I think it's important. I know we don't have a lot of time, and the segments get so short. And I wish I could talk for an hour, because when you hear Dr. Schroes, when you hear Castile talk about, hey, he's come from here to come from something, but he's also educating the Lima community about past. And as you and Mr. Sanders talk about, Castile as a young age is talking about, young people need more exposure. Young people need opportunities to have alternatives other than what's on the table, and that's what Castile just. So I hope as we wind down Hello Lima Community Perspective, I'm hoping the Lima community sees young people like Castile, who is probably going to be a doctor in physics and robotics someday. Mark my word, in terms of the path he's going. Dr. Schroes, the things that you're doing with Castile are wonderful. And we hope the Lima community will always understand that today's youth aren't always what you see in the paper, aren't always what you see in the penal institution or statistics or bad numbers. Castile is part of what we call tomorrow's future. And Hello Lima is proud to be able to present people like Castile to today's, what you call Lima, a community perspective. Hello Lima.
Hello Lima, brought to you by Good Food Restaurant, home of Happy Days, Beer Barrel, and Old City Prime. Also by Mercy Health Partners, the Tomall family of dealerships, 318 Restaurant and Bar, Lima Pallet Company, and M&W Construction.